Give the call to the Assistant Minister for Social Services. Assistant Minister for the Prevention of Family Violence.
Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, and I am very pleased to be speaking on this matter of public importance and listening to the complete hypocrisy of the Liberals and Nationals coming in here and talking about the cost of living when we look at their gross mismanagement over that past decade, their harsh actions, their cruel policies, the fact they block anything now that might assist cost of living. It is the complete height of hypocrisy that they constantly come in here and lecture us when we have a whole suite of measures we are putting in place to address so many of those cost of living pressures. Now remember that these parties, the Liberals and Nationals, they're actually the ones who voted against lowering energy prices. It is them who voted against giving relief to people for their power bills. And I don't know how they look people in the face. I mean, we had the Deputy Leader of the Opposition talking about the many people she was chatting to. Well, does she tell them that she voted against some sort of relief for their power bills? That's the reality of what's happening. And remember also, they've voted against a $10 billion investment in social and affordable housing, and they voted against laws for secure jobs and better pay. They consistently vote against the better interests of all Australians. And of course, today we have legislation before the Senate, the Safety Net Bill, which will really help take the pressure off many of those vulnerable people who are doing it tough. And of course, what are they doing now? What are they doing with that? Trying to delay it. Teaming up with the Greens, of course, in trying to delay it, but that is the reality of what is happening. But yeah, when it comes to assisting vulnerable people, we know particularly, and we've seen what's been highlighted in terms of their actions around robo-debt, how horrific that was, how it was unfair and illegal, and the people whose lives were devastated for it. So they can't come in here and talk to us about assisting vulnerable people when they consistently vote against any support for them, and their policies in government were so destructive. And, Deputy Speaker, we on this side of the House understand the challenges that many Australians are facing, particularly in terms of cost of living, and that is our #1 priority. And that's why we have a whole suite of measures to provide assistance. And in doing that, we're also delivering stronger foundations for a better future, dealing with many of those very strong pressures and challenges right here and now. As I said before, the $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, committed to providing that social and affordable housing. We're strengthening Medicare, and we're helping Australians save on their prescriptions, which is so important. Making childcare cheaper for 1.2 million families. That is in place, and I know many families who are now utilising that, and it's making such a difference. And cheaper childcare, it's good for children, good for families, good for job creation, and good for the economy. And of course, we're funding fee-free TAFE places for over 480,000 Australians. Thousands of particularly young people who are taking up these offers to get training, to get better skilled, to get more jobs, and that of course helps with our overall economic growth. Really importantly, we're working with the states to deliver $3 billion of electricity bill relief. So important to have that in place. And as I said, they voted against that. They voted against providing that assistance for Australians. And we're also backing real pay increases so that millions of workers can receive pay rises, and aged care workers get a historic 15% pay rise. It is so important. And through our $14.6 billion cost of living relief plan, this government has a firm plan to help those millions of Australians in different settings and circumstances, because we are on their side, listening to them, delivering for them in challenging times. And of course, this is all designed as well to not put pressure on inflation. We are very, very cognisant of that. And as I said, this whole suite of relief includes relief from power bills, cheaper medicines, of course our historic investment in Medicare to triple those bulk billing rates, and the cheaper childcare, and of course our paid parental leave as well, so vitally important. And after we had a wasted decade under the Liberals and Nationals in opposition to that, here we have Labor, who is working hard every day for Australians. Now, also, Deputy Speaker, I mentioned before how in the Senate we currently have the Liberals and Nationals teaming up with the Greens, trying to delay our very critical safety net bill. This is vitally important. And the Strengthening the Safety Net bill delivers $9.5 billion in targeted cost of living relief to more than 2 million Australians who need that help now. And our safety net bill incorporates our increases to JobSeeker, Commonwealth rent assistance and parenting payment single, all announced in the budget. But the thing is, the safety net bill must pass this sitting in order to ensure the increase to payments can be in place by September 20. It must pass. These games and delays must end, because delays to the passage of this bill will impact more than 2 million Australians who are desperately waiting for these increases. And that includes extending eligibility for parenting payment single by increasing the cut-off age from 8 to 14, which will provide direct relief to 57,000 single parents, predominantly women, and a 15% increase in the maximum rates of Commonwealth rent assistance for 1.1 million households, and a $40 per fortnight increase for working age and student payments, including job seeker and youth allowance, helping 1.1 million Australians. And we said at the time this increase would be combined with an increase from indexation for those payments. And as we have highlighted, we've calculated this change, and it means that a single person on job seeker with no dependents will actually receive an increase of $56 a fortnight. And in addition, this very important bill in the Senate expands eligibility for the existing higher rate of job seeker to single recipients aged 55 and over who've been on income support for 9 or more continuous months, and that's down from 60 years. And the bill so importantly includes a measure expanding eligibility for parenting payment single to parents with the youngest child under 14. Now, we know how tough it can be for single parents, and that's why it's so important to have this passed. Also, Deputy Speaker, we announced in the budget those increases to the maximum rates of Commonwealth rental assistance, an increase of 15%, the highest increase in 30 years, will also be indexed. And so that will make a huge difference. But all of this can only happen if they stop playing games in the Senate. This is vitally important. These people need this absolutely important cost of living release. But here, instead, we just see them playing more games with it. Now, we've heard the Liberals and Nationals saying that they're opposed to having this increase in job seeker and youth allowance. Absolutely appalling. And here they are saying they want to make savings from this bill. Well, this is a pay that racked up $1 trillion of debt, but now they want to take savings from the most vulnerable. And yet again, they're saying they want to vote against cost of living relief for people who are really doing it tough. As I said, they voted against the energy relief in December, and it's looking like they'll be doing the same with job seeker. And they've put forward their policy, the income-free area they're putting forward. It would do nothing for the 77% of job seekers who don't access the income-free area at all. I think another thought bubble by them. What they should be doing is getting on board and supporting our legislation so we can make sure that that really important support flows through as soon as possible to those people who desperately need it. And can I also make a point too that ACOS put out a statement today calling on the Parliament to pass the Strengthening the Safety Net bill without further delay to deliver the increases to income supports to people best desperately in need. So they should absolutely be doing that. But of course, when it comes to delaying or blocking support for vulnerable Australians, we've seen the Liberals and Nationals teaming up with the Greens. Of course, yet again they've done that to block our $10 billion housing fund for Australians in need. And remember, this is 30,000 new social and affordable rental homes in that fund in the first 5 years, including 4,000 homes for women and children fleeing domestic violence or women at risk of homelessness. These are houses that could have been started building now or even earlier when we wanted to get that bill through. Yet again and again and again they delay it. It's shameful the Liberals are doing it, shameful the Nationals are doing it, shameful the Greens are doing it as well. The costs of delay make it so much worse. And we know on this side of the House we have been approached by so many people in all of our areas across the country and so many different housing groups as well who are saying, we desperately need to have that here. And we say, yes, we do. And these people are all blocking it. And we've particularly highlighted the hypocrisy of the Greens, who may talk about the need for more social and affordable housing. Well, what do they do when they get in here? Not supporting it. And every day they stop doing that makes it harder for those Australians who desperately need to have access to social and affordable housing. So I call upon them to pass that. It's vitally important. But, Deputy Speaker, when it comes to cost of living relief, the Labor Party is the only party that actually addresses the concerns of everyday Australians with our entire suite of measures, whether it's about electricity bill relief, whether it's about cheaper childcare, paid parental leave or cheaper medicines, because we listen and we stand by the side of everyday Australians that need the support of the Labor Party, and we are delivering for them.